dear coloring friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. In this video I will show you everything that I've colored in my books of Maria Trolle. So we are continuing my coloring book collection series. So after this one there might be only 1 or 2 videos left until I showed you everything that I've done so far. Yeah. So let's get started. Oops, I'm very sorry for that bump. In my collection I do have 11 books, and I do think that are all the releases that of Maria Trolle's books so far. So there will be another coloring book, I think in 2026. She announced that, and it's the Magical Library one, if I'm right. So my very first book that I have is Twilight Garden, and it's also one of those books that I started coloring very early in my coloring journey. So let's take a look. I've finished 5 pages in this book. The very first one is the intro, or the names page. I did that only in Derwent Inktense because I've got that book as a Christmas gift, as far as I know, and also those Derwent Inktense, and I wanted to test them out, and I have to say that I'm really happy with the outcome of that page. I finished it in December 2019, so I think that's the year that yeah, of course, it's the year that I got my Derwent Inktense, the smallest set, I think, or one of the smaller sets. Yeah, I also colored in that feather and that thingy. I don't know why I haven't colored the bird already. Yeah, I also marked some of the pages that I do think that I might be tackling very soon. So my favorite uncolored pages in Maria Trolle's books, and I don't know why I didn't do that earlier with the other books in my collection, but maybe I will tackle this in another video. Yeah, so far. Okay, let's continue. Then I did this page in February 2020. I did the background with Neocolor 2. I only had the smallest set of Neocolors that you could get back then. Yeah, and I've used Faber-Castell Polychromos as well as some Signo Uniball for the embellishments. Yeah, nothing else, no glitter and stuff. And I do remember that I got really bored with the repetitive coloring of the petals. Yeah, but I'm really happy with the outcome. Next I do have that birdie, which I wanted to color as a Rotkehlchen. Is it robin in English? I don't know. And I did a Polychromos background too. Yeah. Polychromos for the colored pencils too. And I think I've used a stencil for that background. Yeah. I'm really happy with the outcome, even though it's quite busy, and I should have done monochromic, or I should have done the background only with one color, I think, but I don't change a page once it's done. Yeah. The next page that I finished was a body coloring, I think, in June 2020. I was heavily pregnant back then, and Yeah, I tried a new color background again, but I've used way too much water. So you can see the paper buckled quite a lot. And back then I only had the polychromos. I couldn't sit as long as I used to because I had a round belly and I was very exhausted. And I do think I would have tackled the page differently today, but I really like that I managed to do another body coloring in here. So, and there's only one page left that I've already colored, and that's the owl. And it's been 5 years already since almost 5 years since I've colored the last time in this book. Another Neocolor 2 background, Polychromos work, I think. And I like the outcome of that page, even though now I think that I should have used another color for the background, because there is the owl should have been the focus point on this page, and now that I've colored the background in a similar color, the owl doesn't stand out a lot. So yeah, the pages that I do have marked in here that I haven't colored yet. Let's begin at the back. This is one of my favorite pages, even though I do love the double page spread. Yeah, and I tend to not color the pages that I do love the most because I'm always afraid that I ruin them. Yeah, that's so silly, because we do have a lot of pages that we can color, a lot of similar pages in our collections, especially if we do have a whole collection of books from the same illustrator. So Maria Trolle tends to make illustrations that look almost the same like in her other books, which is a good thing for some reason. I can show you on another picture. Yeah, this one would be nice to tackle in roundabout Mother's Day, I think. That's a gorgeous one. Oh, I see there is something colored in. I didn't remember. Okay, maybe I can fix that at some point, or yeah, that's one of those mandala pages that I really don't care about as a lot because they are too repetitive for my taste, but never say never. This one I really like. That looks very, very calm. It's a nice page. And I think that's my favorite in the whole book. I really like that. So if you are interested in a body coloring with me, if you see any pages that you would like to tackle too, you can always send me a message, a DM on Instagram would be the easiest thing. In Droomreis, I haven't colored anything in here. It's still sitting on my pile of shame. Yeah. I have marked the pages that I would love to color. So it's the intro page or the name page. There is a hashtag going on Instagram where you should tackle the first pages in the coloring book. So maybe I can join that one with this page. Then I really like this one. Yeah, there's so much going on. Maria Trolle's style changed quite a bit during the years, I think. And we can see that, I think at the end of the video, you can tell that her pages are not that crowded anymore. There are not a lot of scenery, scenistic pages right, now or these days. I do love this one. It's a very nice scenery, and for some reason this book reminds me of Johanna Basford's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, because it kind of tells us a story. Yeah, that's Droomreis. And hopefully I can tackle one of these pages until the release of Maria's newest book. One moment, please. Yeah, in Nightfall I only did one page. It's a shame. And that's this one. In here I've used my Artex pencils, and I'm not that happy with the outcome of that background. I should have taped it with washi tape, or I should have drawn a circle so I could have a frame for that page, and I'm not that happy with the outcome of that background, as I said. Yeah, here you can see the page that I've marked because I really love that scene or that page. The other pages that I've marked a color eventually. Look, that's what I meant. This is quite similar to the page that I've showed you in Twilight Garden a couple of seconds ago. That's one of those portraits that I would love to tackle at some point. And with Easter around the corner, that could be a great one with a bunny. And I've marked a lot of pages that are quite fitting for the springtime, for the warmer seasons that I'm really looking forward to. Same as this one with the tulips. I really love that, with that net from that spider web. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit out of words today. And there is one other page that I've marked, and that's this one. Maria Trolle does have a lot of these kind of pages where you can see the stack. Is it a stack? Den Hirsch in a foresty scenery, and this reminds me so much of Harry Potter. Even though I don't know if I should try to tackle one of those pages in that Patronus style with a see-through stack or not. But I can try both versions, because we do have lots of those stack pages. Yeah, in Flora and Fauna I did color 3 pages in total. Let's see. First one is this here. I colored in May 21, and I don't know, I do think these are polychromos and maybe Inktense for that cherry blossom tree. Not sure. Look how I did that fur of the cat. Oh my goodness. And the grass, where at least I tried to color something in so the pages don't look that static. Next, that's one of my most recent Maria Trolle's pages, or more recent Maria Trolle's pages. I've managed to color in October 25. My son chose this page for me, and I've used the Derwent Chroma Flow as well as the Neo Color 2s for the background, and I do think that there is some Inktense work in here too. I also drawn in some grass strokes here, and I drew in the moon on my own. Yeah. And the last page in this book is this angel. I did a background with Neocolor 2 and the angel itself with my Castle Art soft touch pencils that I don't own anymore. I've sold them at a flea market and made a little girl really happy. I really couldn't stand working with those pencils. I know the ChromaFlow are the haptic of the ChromaFlow feels almost the same. They are really thin pencils, but I didn't like the quality of the or the hardness of the Castle Arts back then. In Botanicum, wow, I only colored 2 pages, but I've marked quite a lot of pages to tackle, maybe in 26. So let's begin with the pages that I did color in. So this here is Derwent Lightfast for the pencils, and for the background I've used the Derwent Graphitint, and I really love that page. And I now see that I have not marked this page to color in eventually, but I can imagine coloring this one to match this page as a double page spread. So the next page that I've colored is this one. I did it in December 25, and it's been a quite quick one. It's Inktense for the background, and that looks a little bit better than the other one with the Eichhörnchen. Squirrel. Sorry. Yeah, I did a lot of Inktense base and colored I think the remaining bits and bobs with ChromaFlow. I'm not sure anymore. I should have to take a look on my Instagram feed. Yeah. So the other pages that I've marked to continue this double page spread, I really like it. I forgot about it, and I've seen, I think it's been Elisabetta, so Celiramid, coloring or started to color in this page with a gouache base. And yeah, it looks some kind of Studio Ghibli. The page gives me some Studio Ghibli vibes, and I would love to tackle this scene. Yeah. Next, what have I marked in here? With Easter approaching, this could be a very nice page to tackle in during the Easter season, and a quite quick one. For some reasons I love that wreath. Yeah, it's kind of cute, and I can imagine to try and tackle a bokeh effect at some point in here. This scene I really like. I do love the framed in pages by Maria Trolle. Next, I've marked this one. I do believe that I marked it as a project that I could have tackled in February. So coloring fairies in February. Yeah, and I really love that double page spread. Next is this one. I've seen so many beautiful finished versions of this illustration, and when I was little, almost in the age of that little girl, I did have a black cat named Morle, so maybe I could color this like a memory of mine playing with my cat Morle back then outside, because we did have a big garden to play in here. So this double page spread could be very beautiful during spring season. Yeah, and I don't know why, but I continue coloring in the new released books more often than the older ones, even though those illustrations are so gorgeous, and I should stop neglecting those books. Next, we do have Luna, and in Luna I've only done one and do have a whip in here. So short story, I've bought this book twice. The first time I bought it in St. Peter-Ording, and it's been the German edition, and I hated that paper. Yeah. So I gave that book away to the best friend of my son, who really loves coloring, the 5-year-old girl. And she's always so proud and shows me the pages that she's done in here. So I've started this intro page, or this name page, when the day my son went into surgery. He had a problem with his heart that got fixed and was, I think, 10 hours under surgery. Yeah, but you can tell that I was not in the right mindset for coloring. But the next page that I finished was actually at that day he was at surgery too. So I finished this one first. That's the day when he got under surgery, and I was really worried sitting in that parents' room or in that parents' apartment. So we were able to be close to our son, my husband and I. I've started that page the weeks before the surgery, and finished it the day he went in. Yeah. So you can see that the skin color is not the best. I do think that's been the last part which I've done there. Yeah. And the last page that I have to show you is my most recent Maria Trolle page. It's the last page that I finished, and you can find it on my feed, and I did it for February 2026. Yeah, I've used the Lyra Rembrandt for the colors, for the background, and I do think these grass thingies, those plants, and the water is a mixture of Derwent Lightfast, which I've used on that page too, as well as some Arteza for those leaves and the fairy's dress and skin. For embellishments, I only used a little bit of white gel pen and my Kuretake Gansai Tambi opal colors on the fairy's wings, on the dragonfly's wings, and on that on that little ghost here. I really like the outcome of that page. Yeah. As I told you in the last video I created, those coloring books are kind of a diary for me. So yeah, the pages that I've marked that I want to color are this one. Really love that whole scene, and I've seen beautiful work for this page already. Yeah, as well as this scene that is more of a coloring page for the summer season, but I can imagine that I would be very happy to tackle this one. It's quite a jungly vibe, and I do love the approach from Maria Trolle that she did some other kind of plants than the usual ones. And I do love this page. It looks like a quick one, but it's I don't think so. That I really think that this page can be a very beautiful one to finish. and it looks a little bit like a fairy tale. Yeah. The next book has been a project book with Francesca, Francie's Coloring World, who isn't coloring at the moment, and I'm unsure if she will be coming back at some point, but I do wait for her, or I have to ask her at some point if she wants to color this book with me anymore, or if I continue it on my own, because it's a very beautiful book, but my heart says nope, it's a project that I've started with her and I would love to continue with her. So this page I did on my own before I've started body coloring with Francesca in this book, and I've used lots and lots of glitter for the butterflies and my Coliros for the background. Yeah, I don't know what I've used for her skin, but I do believe it's Derwent Light Fast. And this is one of my most favorite pages ever. Every time I color with Francesca in this book, it sparks so much joy and so much creativity in me. Yeah. I've used polychromos, I think, most of the time, and some Arteza experts. And I don't know where where I've used which kind of pencil. Yeah. But I do love the outcome of this one. I do love her version too. So maybe you can take a look at her Instagram feed and send her some love. The next page that we did was, give me a second, please. Oopsie, 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 oopsie. Okay, so they are not in a particular order here. I do think that's the last page that we both colored, and I've showed you in certain videos already. I've used Neocolor 2 for the background, Lyra Rembrandt for the pencil work. And I do believe that I've colored the fur of the cat with Neocolors, but I'm not sure anymore. Yeah, I've drawn in some stars, and I don't think that there is any shimmer on this page. I've drawn in the moon, and there is that little ghosty friend. With the Lyra Rembrandt, it took quite a lot of time. They are quite of hard pencils, but they do have a very beautiful finish, in my opinion. I don't like those little ghosty thingies. Yeah, they look kind of derpy. I've used Thule Art acrylic marker for them. Yeah. So the next page. Yeah, that's this one. And I've used Brute Pruners for this page and some Sakura Stardust for the frame. I'm really happy with the outcome. And working with Brute Pruners with those harder lit pencils is quite of interesting. I really love that. I love the way that I've tackled the background with that bokeh style, and I love that I've drawn in more grass in here. I also used my Thule Art markers, so the scenery looks a little bit more atmospheric and fuller. That page I've marked eventually to continue and to have a finished double page spread. You know the drill, I do love finished spreads. Yeah. Okay, so this one, speaking of finished spreads, yeah, this one was quite a joy. I think that's the first page that we've continued, and then after the awards, this one. So in here I've used my Derwent Lightfast and the Derwent Inktense for basing lots of that stuff. Yeah, not the best work in here, and I do love that flowy thing that I've done here, the river. Yeah, it's not my best Maria Trolle page, but I'm really happy that Francesca and I did that page together. And this one I'm really happy with. I can't remember which pencils I've used, but I do think those are Artex. Yeah. And as always, I really struggle with coloring in buildings and architecture in general. So I've based the castle with Inktense, I think, and just put some shadow in here. Yeah, I've used a lot of Thule art to cover some lines and to draw in the grass. And you can totally tell that Maria Trolle's illustrations are, even though they are detailed, the details fade a little bit. So they are getting, the illustrations are not that complicated anymore and do remind me a lot of that Cute and Cozy thingies, but that's in the next pile of books. So that's one of my favorite, all-time favorite scenes in Maria Trolle's books, and I'm really happy with the outcome of that page. Still, I don't know how I managed to color this one. I've used the Deco Time ink pads for the background. The pencil work is Polychromos, and I did the golden frame with my Coliro rainbow watercolor. And that's one of my all-time favorite finished pages, not only in Maria Trolle's books, but in my whole collection. That's a page that I would love to finish at some point. And I would like, that's me and that's Francesca, or the other way around. I would love to do that, even though the illustration is not that interesting, but I think that idea is very cute. Yeah. So the other pages that I've marked in here are the name page. That's one of those stack sceneries that I showed you before, which she has in almost every of her books. Yeah, that one I showed you already because double page spreads. And this one could be a nice one to tackle around about Easter. Yeah. And that one is gorgeous. I really love that frame. Yeah. Give me a second and I will continue with the next pile. So, these are the new formats of Maria Trolle's books, and that's where everything started with those, or where she started to change her style more obviously, in my opinion. So it's Shooting Star, and I've done 4 pages in here. This one I did with that ink pads by Action, so the Deco Time pads. For the background, I've used the Sakura Stardust for the Shooting Star and Inktense for the basing of the illustration itself. I don't know what I've used for the grass texture. It's a very simple one, and I struggled at the end because there was that huge empty space around the illustration. So I've drawn in a little bit of a path here. Yeah. What have I done? this one. So that's the page that I've colored as a body coloring with LOD. And that's the page that I've continued with. And in both pages I've used the Lara Rembrandt. Yeah, they do have a certain finish. I can't tell what it is, but I do love the finish in here. Yeah, really pretty. And I do think that I want to color the girl in the same color palette every time that she's appearing on the pages. So the character is the same, that little girl. And the star will be golden everywhere it appears. Yeah, like here, or where is it? Where is it here? Here. So that's a fun thing that I've shown my son that book, and he had to look for the star on every page, and he actually found it. So that's one of my most recent pages, finished in January, and it's been that low budget pencil thingy that I did, that challenge with the Pelikan pencils. So yeah, I do think those were the 4 pages that I've managed to do in here. So I want to show you the pages that I want to color in the nearer future. And this illustration is kind of cute. There you have that little girl with his bumblebee friend, with her bumblebee friend, the bumblebee friend. Goodness, Marion. Really love that page. And with the peony in the background, it's almost the same thing like the last book that I've shown you, Moon Valley, the one page. Yeah, where is the next one? Give me a second. Yeah, even though I don't like coloring those ocean scenes, I really like this portrait for some reason. And I do think this could be very interesting to color. Yeah, that hair and the mermaid in here with the anchor, the whale and the dolphin, as well as the ship. It could be a very monochromatic page. I don't know yet, but I would love to try this one. Next we do have this scenery. Yeah, I don't know why I've chosen this one, but I do think it's a really calming page. I really love everything on that page, and I do imagine I can imagine that I would try to do those sunset colors again, that like in Moon Valley. Yeah, this could be a nice one to do. Give me a second, I just want to put my paper back in here. So next one is the fairy tales one, and you should have seen every page in here by now if you watched every video of mine, because I finished those pages back in 2025. Yeah, Jack and the Beanstalk. Once again, I've used Sturvant Inktense for the background on both pages. I've used Sturvant Lightfast for the pencil work, and Koliro watercolors, or Kuretake Gansai Tambi for the embellishments in here. The next double page spread is the Tom the Tomatot one. I did that with my Arteza Colored Expert coloring pencils. No, Arteza Expert coloring pencils. Yeah, and I've used some watercolor for the basing for the sky. It's been quite a struggle, but I do love the outcome. And I don't know which pencils I've used in here, but they might be the Artezas too. But yeah, they are written down in my Instagram feed. So the pages that I love and would like to color next. Whoops. This double page spread. It's been one of my favorite fairy tales whenever I was a kid. Yeah, and I would love to do that. Again, that framed scene. And the sleeping bear with his sisters. It's a really beautiful one. And the next one is, oops, give me a second, this one. Yeah, Angela and I were thinking about if we should do this page as a body coloring, or another one in here. I think it's the lady with the swans that she did. So check out her her page, her feed, or the dragon one instead. And I really love this double page spread, but Angela and I did a Rita Bearman page instead. So maybe, Angela, if you're interested, we can tackle one of those pages of the double page spread in here during 2026. Or if anyone else is interested in buddying up with me. I've always wanted to color a dragon in my coloring book collection, but I'm always hesitating because I do love those fairy tale figures, but they are so gorgeous, and I am afraid to ruin that pages. Yeah, and this one I've seen so beautiful pages. The Nolly's World. So Nicole did a very beautiful page, and Pauline, Miss Pilou, Miss Pilot, Miss Pilou. Yeah, we love that. Yeah, but maybe there will be a hashtag for Red Riding Hood. And I do think that there is a hashtag for February for the Cat in the Boots, but I missed that, and I don't think that I will be able to color this during February. So yeah, but I would love to tackle this page in general. I do love how she's drawn the cat, and yeah, a very, very beautiful one. Yeah. And I do have a certain person in mind who I could ask to do a body coloring in this book with me. Yeah, we are coming to an end. This is the last book that I've colored something in. I've got that book from my mother-in-law in December for Christmas. And I've only done 2 pages, if you can count this one as a page. It's my very first work with the Derwent drawing, and I did like how they lay down on that paper. It's a cute one. And the next page I did, I've shown you in the past videos, I tackled with Katrin from Käthe Malt. And yeah, I've used my Arteco watercolors in here, my Thule art paint pens, as well as the Derwent drawing for pencil work. And I'm really happy with the outcome. Yeah, it's a really colorful one, and I've drawn in some more details. So yeah, that girl read a Twilight book, one book of the Twilight saga, and there is a Hannah Carlson book. Yeah, some details that you might have not seen. Yeah, and I've used the Kuretake Ganzetambi for the work here on the background. Maybe you can see it a little bit. The opal effect is not easy to show up on the camera. Yeah. And I've marked quite a lot of pages in here, because I really do love the spring pages in here. Yeah, Marion would love to tackle architecture, because I do think that the style of Maria Trolle is so bold and easy, and I should not be afraid to color in there. I would feel a little bit more free to color, and I can imagine that I would use more watercolor for basing, because the paper quality in this book is so much better than in Rita Berman's books, or more different, not better. It's different in comparison to Rita Berman's books, where she has a lot of architecture that I'm struggling to color in, just because working only with pencils for something like this isn't easy. So maybe I am a little bit more free coloring wise when I'm using water soluble medium. Yeah, so really love this page, and this double page spread would be perfect for the Easter time, as well as this one, even though I really like this that witchy girl. The characters appearing quite a lot in this book, and I could also imagine that I would color the characters in the same kind of way. Yeah, another Easter page. Those double page spreads I really love. Here you have that witch again. I really like this book. Yeah, and I only tacked the pages that I would love to color during springtime in here. Those market stall pages are really beautiful. And I don't know which pages I would love to color first. Maybe the as the first page in every season. So maybe I would begin with a market stall or with the house. Yeah, and that would be a very nice intro page or ritual to start every season. So the last book that I do have from Maria Trolle is that Christmassy book, and I wasn't able to color anything in here because my mother-in-law gave it to me as a Christmas present in 2025, and afterwards, after Christmas, I wasn't in the mood for any kind of seasonal coloring, so Christmas seasonal coloring anymore. So I just tagged the pages that I could imagine to color during the next Christmas season, and hopefully I will be more confident with my light effects in here, because I really love that page, but there are so many light sources that I don't know how to tackle that. Next, I've marked that girl, and it feels like she is the same girl like in the season books. The season book, really love that scene again. It looks so cozy. Maria Trolle is my kind of cute and cozy illustrator, even though she doesn't do cozy coloring books like in the alcohol marker community. Yeah, speaking of cozy, that's so cute. That's so stinking cute with that star again in the window, and the snow is piling up outside, and that girl is sharing that goodies with her cat. And I could imagine that I color her the same way as that girl that I colored in the season book, and the cat again. Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. That's everything that I've colored in my Maria Trolle books. I hope you enjoyed that kind of video. So as I told you, there might be an upcoming color last video in the series, maybe 2. I don't know yet. It depends on how many pages I do have from other illustrators. And then I might continue with my color in chat video. I do think that I record them in German and put a separate video with the same content afterwards on my YouTube, but with a voiceover, so I can do a speed coloring session and speak in English about what I was talking about in this German chatty color and chat video. Yeah, so let's see what's happening in the closer future, in the nearer future. Have a great and colorful day. Thank you guys for watching and for sticking by. Maybe you can put a Christmas tree down in the commentary. And if you are interested into body coloring with me, please feel free to leave a direct message on my Instagram. And I would love to do a body coloring with you guys in Maria Trolle's books. Thank you guys for watching. Have a colorful day. See you soon. Bye bye.